Okay, here we have an example of a transmission cooling system. From the lines coming out of the transmission, we'll go up to the vehicle's engine cooling radiator. There's a separate cooling system in the side of the radiator which will keep your transmission fluid cool and at the proper temperature. And then it will come back to your transmission. The problem after you replace a defective unit is that after you've flushed this out with either a machine or a can of flush, you can still have contamination inside of it that can get back into your transmission and cause another failure. So what we're going to demonstrate here is how to add another filter in line into your cooling system. So what we have to do is, you'd be cutting the line and patching it in. We're going to do a quick replacement of this line in order to demonstrate how it will be installed. You can flare the ends of the tube slightly in order to allow the hose to better seal. The last thing that you want is to create a new leak. And then the flow direction of your filter is very important. You want to make sure that you get the correct direction returning to the unit so that you do not create other problems. They're designed for flow in one direction. You want to be careful that you do not create any new leaks in the system, because that can ruin your new transmission. You always want to put it on the return line. Here it's coming out to the radiator, then it's going to return, again checking the correct direction of the flow. So you have to make sure that on the transmission that you have, you are putting it on the correct line. And it will vary depending on which transmission that you have, whether it's an upper or lower, or a front or rear line. After you had it installed in, you want to make sure it's not near any exhaust that could possibly create too much heat on it. In a safe location, make sure that the lines are secured in such a way that it's not going to cause vibration or chafing on something else in the vehicle. And then you have an inline filter that will now protect your transmission against contamination in the cooler. What we also have is an auxiliary cooler that you can add into your system. Auxiliary coolers will come with the necessary hardware to install them. This is one example of a medium-sized auxiliary cooler that you can add to the front of the vehicle, whether you decide to bypass the original OEM or whether you decide to add it on for extra cooling capacity. We have another example. These are both medium-sized, approximately 18,000 pound vehicle rating. If you bypass your OEM, you should use double capacity for your cooling system that you add in. If your prior transmission failed to the point where you do not feel comfortable with the original unit, or you don't get enough flow afterwards, which if you disconnect your line, engine running, you should get approximately 1 quart every 15 seconds returning to the transmission. If you do not have that, then you would have a restriction in your cooling system, and you may want to think about replacing your radiator to ensure the safety of your new unit.